still snog?
Do I still snog? Yeah. I had no idea where you were going to go with these questions. I thought they were going to be way more mature. But yes, I do actually. I'm glad to say Mrs. Wingham is a snogger. Ask Mr. Wingham.
Good. Then my second question to you is, can you say in 3 words about your big love or first love? Sum it up in 3 words.
I mean, to be honest, I always say fashion was my first love. It's a few extra words. But I mean, normally, I know you're trying to specifically pinpoint some words, but I think fashion was my first love. Sorry, Mr. Wingham, but it was. And literally, it inspires everything I do, irrespective of whether it's in fashion or not.
Okay, cool. Then, is there a special song that will bring you back to that moment of falling in love then with fashion?
For falling in love with fashion, yeah, there is actually. I would say I was at Close Show Live at the Birmingham NEC when I was just a wee whippersnapper, which is another word for a kid, for those that didn't know. And the fashion show was happening, and it was actually the Verve Bittersweet Symphony. And I remember the beat, and then the model started walking, and I was like, this is when I know that I'm going to work in fashion. You know, I was around about 10. And that was the moment. And in terms of love, there is also a song, me and my lovely hubby, we have True Colours by Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, that's a beautiful song.
Yeah, it is, and that's our song.
Yeah, I love that song. I love that song. Then, how much do you think music influences one's love life?
Music? Oh, there's a song for everything, isn't there? And I know I keep announcing everything was my first love. Music was probably my second love. Fashion my first, but for me, I love music, and it's a magical thing because depending on what I'm creating creatively, I choose a certain genre of music.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a song for everything. I mean, literally.
Yeah, that's true.
And in terms of love, of course, as well as the broken-hearted people, God love them, because you know there's quite a lot of heartbreaking songs as well.
True. But they do help though to listen to. I find, you know, when I've gone through heartbreaks. It's actually the songs I would listen to.
Therapy.
Yeah, it is.
Music therapy.
Yeah,
you know.
makes you cry. Get it out of your system. Or dance.
Oh yes.
I normally will dance people out of my system if they hurt.
I love that. Love that. Throw some shapes and everything, the world is rectified. No?
Exactly.
But you know what? It's escapism, isn't it? And it's a way to move your emotions.
Yeah.
And I know you're bonkers, so music and dancing and art is, you know, for both of us.
Yes.
An amazing source of
Important.
inspiration.
Yes, for your art, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Would you listen to music while you do your art pieces?
I listen to music while I do anything and everything. I'm not really much of a TV person. I like to have music. Actually, for painting, I like to listen to the old school, like the jazz, or like big band jazz even. I love it. You know, when I'm doing like a meaningful piece, or if I'm doing something a bit more street artish, then I'm going to go with that vibe. I might go a bit hip hopish.
Cool.
You know, so it depends. You know, I change my music choice depending on my outfit even. You know, it's not. I mean, I don't match my outfit to my music choice, but what I'm saying is that it's always changeable. You know, like I never know what I'm going to wear every day. I never know what I'm going to listen to. But what I do know is music is an amazing thing for us all. It's therapy, as you said.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah, but it's also wonderful that it inspires you in your art. I think that's wonderful.
Oh yeah, it's fundamental. Like I can't do it. I can't imagine creating a piece honestly without being able to play some music. You know, belting out there, and you know, when you're creating something, you can go like all the way through the night.
Yeah.
So you know, you need to have something that's going to inspire you and uplift you, and it does.
Yeah. And how did you actually then start in fashion? And you know, how did it all begin for you? What happened?
That's like going back to the olden days, like way back. Literally, you know what? I started working in fashion. I always tell the people this, like when I was 11. Like, I'm a coal miner's daughter, so we didn't have a great deal of money. I was always into fashion and style, so you know, I had loads of love, but perhaps not the best wardrobe. So it was apparent from a young age that I need to get my own gear, have my own fabulous outfits, and I figured that a good way to do that would be make them. So yeah, so I was saying that at 11 years old I started in fashion, and ultimately I actually started by age 12 creating things for the sixth formers that used to go out partying.
That's
So my first dress was created for someone that was actually going out when I was age 12. So yeah, I've always been entrepreneurial, and I've always, as I said, loved fashion and music.
And then that took you into doing art pieces then from the fashion.
Yeah, that's right. So literally art for me, it was just nothing was planned really. I mean, I ended up starting in fashion and I did quite quirky customized things. Then I went on to haute couture, which is totally unaffiliated. It's just that I found I had a flair for fabulous frocks.
Yeah.
So, you know, my home was on the red carpet and I loved that, you know, creating fabulous frocks for celebrities on the red carpet. And then I evolved and actually I ended up swapping fabric for fondant. So I went from the fashion industry to the cake industry. So I don't know if you know that about me, but I could make a cake of you sat there in, you know, in real size, everything. Perhaps not on this, because this is not very good for kids. It's not very gravity defying, but I do love it as a chill out spot.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
And how lovely that we're in Centro House and, you know, it's just got the best vibe ever. But for your bonkers questions, it's the best vibe.
and what do you find the importance of dance?
The importance of dance, well, you haven't seen me like dancing, I mean like really dancing. In fact, I go back to my northern Yorkshire mouth when I say dancing, because, you know, I'm very serious about it. I mean, I'm not good at dancing, but I do love it though, and I still insist on doing it, at the peril of my poor kids. They're a bit like, Mum, you're here, can you go to there? You know, normally that's the mum's job, but yeah, so I love to throw a good shape or two. It's therapy, and especially when you're painting, it's like, it's almost like a little synchronized dance, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it becomes.
Yeah, it's important. It's important. And then my last question to you is, how does the word music make you feel?
The word music. I mean, well, without it, I wouldn't get a great deal done. No. So I would say that it's a really important word, you know, and for me, it's a lifeline, I would say.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. Thank you.
Welcome.